The difference between fidgeting and stimming. I thought they were the same thing. I thought stimming was just another word for fidgeting. Then I looked it up. I still really didn't understand it. So when I went to my first professional development class, other teachers, other paraprofessionals were talking about their experience with stimming. And I asked, and I was like, what is stimming? Isn't that fidgeting? So one of the paras said fidgeting is kind of keeping them focused so they can still do other things, keeping their hands busy, where stimming is something they have to do. So when I looked it up again to see the difference, stimming is more of keeping them self-regulated if they need to, calm down, or it's just, again, something they have to do, where fidgeting is more of keeping behavior levels down, I would assume, or like lowering stress in a way. So I noticed when I would see one of the boys stimming on anything, though, he could be stimming on lines on the wood on the table in the cafeteria. He could be stimming on just anything stimming. So I would realize like he wouldn't be trying to be disruptive, or it's not that he didn't want to listen, he just had to do something. And then when he was done doing whatever it was, and it might last a minute, it wouldn't be lasting long. He might just have to look at like the lines a certain way, the way they're moving, or whatever it was. And then he would come back into center group, or he would come back to whatever he was doing. So noticing that he's not trying to be disruptive, he's not trying to be disobedient, he just needs to finish this stim, and then he'll be back on track. Also, another thing was, I'm not sure if this is stimming or fidgeting, but if he would be upset about something, constantly bouncing on a bouncy ball will kind of bring his brain down. Even if his behavior, he was screaming, maybe another student triggered him, bouncing on the ball kind of self-regulated himself for a few minutes, and then he was fine. So that self-regulation was something I didn't understand as well. Like, I didn't understand you need to self-regulate to get yourself back into focus mode and back where you need to be. Another thing I learned is advocating for those students that are nonverbal. This is really me speaking to the parents, because if I had a student that's in my classroom, I would want as much communication as possible. It shocked me to know a lot of parents that didn't communicate with the teachers often. We had parents that never spoke to the teacher, or like barely ever spoke, and we had parents that spoke constantly. There was a communication book that got sent every home, what they did for the day, what they ate, what was going on. There was also an app where the parents could communicate with the teachers. So a lot of communication going on, which was really good. I say advocate because this is something I can't say personally at work, but you need to advocate for your child that does not speak. I had a student one day that came in with a shirt on. Came with a shirt and it said, I may be nonverbal, but my mama ain't. And I love that shirt. I swear I cracked up all day, because people need to know, just because I'm 3 years old, I'm vulnerable, I don't speak, I can't do much for myself, doesn't mean I don't have people that care about me. So this is me talking to the parents and just saying, let the school know that you will advocate for your child and you expect your child to get services that they require and they deserve to get. This is something I can't voice out as much because I'm not a parent that has a child that's nonverbal or has multiple disabilities. But if my child had these disabilities, the one thing I would say is advocate. You are in charge. You have all the leverage. So if your student, and I understand some parents don't want to be like overstepping, some parents don't want to ask for too much, or some parents just feel like they bring their kids to school, so everyone's going to do their job. Everyone's going to do their job the way they're supposed to, and you don't have to question anything. You have to question. If your child is supposed to be getting speech, if your child is supposed to be getting OT, if your child is supposed to be getting PT on a consistent weekly basis, you need to make sure that they're getting it every single week. I'm not sure how the school tracks it. I'm not sure how you track it. But let's say your child gets speech on Tuesdays, gets OT on Wednesdays, for example. If a week goes by and you're like, did they get speech this week? Let me double check. Just double check they're getting their services they're supposed to be getting. Because there could be therapists that skip a session and don't make it up, or just skip sessions because they know the parents aren't tracking it and not looking at it. And even though they said it's state mandated for them to record it and see what's going on, who's tracking those missed sessions? I personally don't know, but as a parent, that's something I would do. And again, coming from experience, you need to advocate for your child does not speak. That does not speak. Be seen. I know that a lot of parents work. I know parents are busy, but just let them see you, whether it's back to school night, whether it's orientation, whether it's whatever, just 1 or 2 times where they see your face and know that you're very serious about your child. Whether you don't make it to all the the carnivals or whatever schools have, field day, whatever, even if you don't make it to all those, make it to one event to meet the person that will be with your child all the time and let them know you don't play. That you want your child to get what they need. You want to make sure they're being treated properly. And that you want them to come to a safe environment. Like that's really it. That's all we really want. We want our kids to be in a safe environment and be happy to come to school. The last thing I learned was using the spec books. I wasn't really taught very thoroughly how to use the spec books just because it was a lot of things going in our classroom. But I was looking it up. I do see how the speech therapists use the spec books. And I really see that it can be very helpful and efficient for someone that's using it consistently every day, that's constantly being worked on. So next year, that's actually the main thing I want to focus on with my one student that has cerebral palsy and is nonverbal, because I think the spec book would help a lot. It just has pictures. I don't know if you've ever seen a spec book. I'll see if I can find something. It has pictures of things you need on like Velcro, and it's literally like a book, like a scrapbook. And when you want something, you take the spec off, which is like a little picture of what you want, and you put it where the line is to say, I want this or I want that. So it very much helps communication, especially kids that are really getting the communication. They just need a little bit of push and just some time, and they could really communicate with you. But students that are 100% nonverbal but can see the pictures and show you what they want, I think it's really, really helpful, especially if we're doing our jobs at school and the parents are doing their jobs at home. If they're going to have a child that's forever going to be nonverbal, we need to find different ways to speak to them, different ways to communicate with them. We also need to find other ways. Like I've seen talkers. They look just like iPads and they talk. And you click whatever you want and you can use it to talk, communicate to who you want to communicate with. So that's something I learned, different ways to communicate and not just guessing on what your student needs. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave me a comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much.